Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to Chill with Bill, episode 15. We are almost at that quarter year mark, which absolutely blows me away. We went live on New Year's Eve, and so much has happened since in the Sales Vault and also with Chill with Bill, and also in my personal life. I got to start showing you something. That, if I'm showing this correctly, that's my grandbaby. My daughter Katie and her husband Brian are having their first child in October. And as you can tell by this face, I am very excited. This is something, of course, you expect when kids get married, and you drop some hints that I've been very good. But anyway, I am just thrilled for them and for all of us, for the whole family. It's going to be the first baby on both sides. So I said to my daughter, you better clean out your basement because you're going to get deluged with gifts. This kid has got something ridiculous like 14 aunts and uncles or something, great aunts and uncles, and this is just going to be a Donnybrook. Anyway, welcome to Chill with Bill. Now that I've got that behind me. Another personal thing, I mentioned last week that I recorded ahead of time because I thought I might have a COVID reaction to the second shot, and I did, a minor one, but I did. And so I'm glad that I did that. Chill with Bill is a weekly event. It's about 30 minutes long. And what I'll do is I will stretch my legs a bit on the sales tip and the blog that I crank out. I'll talk about the poll that went on in LinkedIn. It's really a sales discussion more than anything else. There's also an interview now and then, including today, one with someone that I've got a very unique personal connection with that you just couldn't make up the whole story, which I'll share in just a second. This is all part of the Sales Vault. And my daughter Madeline, who does my marketing, very, very, very smart woman, does my marketing, and she said, Dad, let's define the Sales Vault better. And what the team came up with is this: a platform that brings together experts from across all verticals, unified around common sales challenges to share their wisdom and tactics to help anyone grow their sales. That is what we are all about. Now, why should you care about this? Number of reasons. One is, the programs, the workshops, and the other programs and the live events inside the vault, they're not one-offs. You can go to a seminar and be like, wow, that was great. And I mean, look it up. A week later, you've forgotten 50% of it. A week after that, you've forgotten the other 50%. And then you're right back where you started. These build on each other. These are learn, then apply, learn, then apply. The second reason, there's a lot of content out there. You can certainly, it's like the guitar thing, right? There's a lot of guitar content out there. Our sales training programs, our workshops, everything is organized by sales challenge, by sales topic. So you can literally go in and say, I'm really struggling with my time management, overcoming objections. I don't know who to talk to. And you will find almost endless amounts of content there, plus the live stuff. Third reason is that we're actively adding collaborators like Amy Fond, like Trish Witkowski, like the others that our insiders say they want to hear from. So it's really becoming the platform. The fourth reason is it's fun and engaging. I mean, if you've watched any of these chills, if you've watched my sales tip, you know that there's a fun and engaging angle to all of what I do, and that's going to continue. So let me talk about Bob Bradley. Bob Bradley is the gentleman that I kind of interviewed. It was more of a sales coaching call that I'm going to let you listen into. So my older brother Andy and I actually both graduated from East Longmeadow High School in Western Massachusetts. When my brother was there, he graduated 1970, I think, from East Longmeadow. And he went to high school with a guy named Bob Bradley. This Bob Bradley is Bob Bradley Jr. And so I was in a bar in Maine. And a guy walks over to me and says, are you Bill Farquharson? And I said, yeah. He said, I'm Bob Bradley. And I'd known Bob only as a customer. So, oh gosh, that was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And Bob is an insider. He's a part of the Sales Vault as a customer. And I asked him, because he's just starting up for a new company. He's a 7-year print sales rep. And I said, you know, if you did allow me to broadcast it, I'm happy to give you a free coaching call. Well, he jumped at it. And so when we got talking about his sales challenges, it really came down to time management. You know, it's like I said, I'm going to show you this. It's like I put out in the LinkedIn polling question this week. Time management is a center point to so much. Motivation and work-life balance and general happiness and creativity and sales efficiency. And it's like I find myself tying it all back to time management because it's such a big subject and such a moving target. So Bob and I talked for quite a while on the subject, and I've whittled it down to a little under 15 minutes, and you will see that today. What else? All right, let's talk about the sales tip this week. My sales tip this week was about reasonable and achievable goals, and I really encourage you to create sales activity goals. How many calls will you make at minimum every day? And then try a 7-day goal and then adjust it. You can say, if I'm going to make 5 calls a day, you can make 10 on Monday and you'll have 10 in the bank for the rest of the week. You can do it that way as well. So that's just something I really encourage you to do, but keep them reasonable and achievable, because if they're too far out, it's demotivating. So I've adjusted my guitar practice per day down from an hour to 45 minutes, because even that's on the extended range there, the outer limit. I might even drop it down again, but I want to feel good about that, and so should you. So keep it within reach. Tuesday's blog was called Sales Headwind, and I really felt the need, and I think I shared this last week, I really felt the need to tell everyone out there, everyone's struggling. Don't think it's just you. Don't think that everybody else is killing it and you're dragging behind. All I hear all day long from coaching calls is no one's picking up the phone, no one's responding to me, everyone's ghosting me, and it just seems like you're shouting into the abyss. And I encourage you to keep making the calls. That's my advice. Keep making the calls. The polling question that was put out on Tuesday on LinkedIn had to do with time management. And I said, what's your biggest time management challenge? Work-life balance, procrastination, or I'm busy but just not productive. And it's been fun to check in every day because the numbers keep shifting, jockeying back and forth. And ordinarily when I put a poll out like this, there's one major answer, one second place, and then a distant third. These have really grouped together. So here's where it stands. The biggest sales challenge so far. Work-life balance is number 1 with 39% of the vote. Right behind it is procrastination with 36% of the vote. And I'm busy but not productive is 24% of the vote. My read on that is people probably are underestimating their productivity. I know I did. So I think they're busy, but they're not as productive as they could be. Because if you are productive, a lot of that, if you're doing it right, if you are managing your time, if you're preparing, procrastination is really not an issue because the motivation overtakes it. The work-life balance is another discipline. So that one I absolutely understand why that is number 1. But big subject, big subject. I hope you'll get something out of it today. And we do have lots of programs on the Sales Vault which cover time management, including some sales videos that you can watch 24/7, courses that you can watch, and also live stuff. We have, let's see, what's coming up. Upcoming workshops in the Sales Vault I will be doing on April 30th, which is 2 weeks from today, I think. April 30th, we'll be starting a new 4-week program called Time Management and Sales Focus. There's also Prospecting for Introverts, which is starting on May 6th. Kelly Malazzi will be repeating her Sell Like a Girl, which has got rave reviews. And someone in the office hours, the peer-to-peer discussion group, that just raved about it and Kelly's work. Kelly's also has some new stuff coming up for in May, which I'll tell you about in a second. And then the Morale Squad, which Kelly also runs, has been going every Tuesday at noon. And once again, she's now done 2 of those, and both of them were very well received. One of them was sold out. So please do get involved in those inside the Sales Vault. What else is coming up in May? I'm doing a whole class, a whole series of classes on new business development. So if you need new business, become an insider, because this is going to help you to go right through the summer slowdown, just build sales momentum, and momentum that will carry you into the fall, into Q4, and right up into the beginning of 2022. That's how it works. That's coming up in June. What else is coming up in June? Let's see. We're going to be having a successful marketing idea share group, and I've mentioned this a couple times. There's marketing for salespeople, so teaching old dogs new tricks, and Kelly's got an idea for that she's chewing on. In June, we'll be adding programs like vertical markets. We're going to be talking about how do you sell to banks, and I'll be doing that one. We're also adding a big component on selling digital printing and selling inkjet, as well as selling signage and wide format, by the way. So all of these are big expansion modules inside the Sales Vault. We'll also be adding a program on sales goals and accountability, and then I'll be doing something on the sales triathlon of time management, overcoming objections, and beating voicemail. This is all content that's being built right now for release in May and June. I mentioned the office hours. This is a peer-to-peer group that meets every Wednesday at noon Eastern time, and it's a very, very fun group. It's a very tight-knit group because we have new faces, but it's a core group that shows up every week, and they share. Everyone brings one sales challenge to the call. So this is what we covered this week. Someone said, I need new ideas for prospecting. What can I say that's new when I'm calling over and over again? The second big conversation was, I don't have someone's business email or phone number, but I do have their personal cell phone and their personal email. Should I use it? And I thought, it's kind of a weird, small subject. It really created a wonderful conversation that burgeoned and blew up. The third thing that came out of it was a very clever idea for prospecting that hit me in the middle of what someone was saying, and we developed it together as a group, and it has to do with a lottery ticket play slip. So I record those office hours, and they're available for playback for insiders. So become an insider, and you can get that really interesting and clever idea for prospecting that involves a lottery ticket play slip. I literally had to Google to figure out what you call those sheets that you fill out when you give your lottery, when you want to play Powerball or something. I don't play, so I couldn't remember the name of it. Anyway, so that's all of the stuff. Let's see. We're still having a free book. You can get one of the books that are behind me, either the Who's Making Money at Digital Printing, or 25 Best Print Sales Tips, or 25 Best Sign Sales Tips. Those are all available for free when you sign up. They're $20 each. Otherwise, you get them free when you become an insider. So let's talk about Bob Bradley. Bob, very well spoken and was very self-aware. He was able to quickly identify what his sales challenges were, and it came down to time management. Simple as that. So here is the interview. Here is the coaching call and the information that Bob and I discussed. I know this is going to hit home with all of you because we all share these issues. So let's roll this interview, and then I will talk to you again on the other end with some final words.
So hi, my name is Bob Bradley. I'm a salesperson with the CJK Group. I've been in sales now for about 6, almost 7 years with a couple of different companies. But my background in printing started in the mid to late 80s in high school, and I have been in printing almost exclusively since then. I have a Bachelor of Science from RIT, but I've been mostly in kind of production roles, as well as some customer service and scheduling, but a lot of kind of press room manager, plant supervisor, that type of thing. So, sales is a little bit new to me when you look at the arc of my career. I've only been in sales now for, again, almost 7 years. So thanks for taking the time to work with me.
And you are Bob Bradley Jr., right?
That is correct. Well, yes, I am Bob Bradley Jr., yes.
Okay, so the connection here, which is kind of fun, Bob's father went to high school with my brother. And Bob and I met, the Bob that you're looking at, and I met in Maine at a bar completely by accident. That was insane. That whole day, that whole night was hilarious, and we've known each other for several years now.
Yeah.
And when we came up with the marketing team, came up with an idea to record a coaching call. Bob was on the list immediately. It was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I think that would be a really interesting call because he's just starting up. He's got some experience, but he's got a lot of great questions. So Bob, if I was your sales manager hired today by your company, and I said, all right, Mr. Bradley, why aren't you selling more? What are your obstacles? What's in your way? What would you say? How would you answer?
Time management and what I guess I would call the squirrel effect. I'm easily susceptible to distraction or getting extremely focused on one thing and forgetting that I have 10 other things to do.
We did a video yesterday, which we just posted up on the website, and the first version of the video had a clip from one of the presentations that I give, and it shows somebody hitting a bunch of buttons as they light up. And Allison said to me, "You need to take that down. It's distracting." I said, "Yeah, but that's sales." And she said, "I know, but that doesn't work on the video." I said, "Yeah, but that's sales." We went back and forth, and I lost. So you said you brought some things. You put some thought into this call today, and you brought some things to talk about. What did you bring to talk about?
Sure. So what I brought was kind of a time management tool. Something that you and I actually had some interaction many years ago, or not many years ago, but a couple of years ago, and I picked up some time management tools from you, and I've used them off and on, and I haven't been able to build that habit. But when I do, at the end of the day, put together a schedule for the next day, I'm usually pretty good for most of the morning. And then it'll be that squirrel effect will kick in, and somebody will send me something that needs, what I consider to be an immediate response, and I jump on it, and my plan for the day kind of goes to garbage. So it's having some discipline in getting back to that time management, to that list. I mean, I'm putting 20 minutes, a half hour into a schedule of sorts for the following day. It's having the discipline, I guess, to go back and the tools to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I just offer this up immediately. We all do that. Again, very normal. And I think the question to ask yourself is, what's the best use of my time right now?
Yeah.
Or a different version of that. If you find yourself chasing that squirrel, stop and say, is this really the best use of my time right now? And it doesn't mean that, you see the guitar behind me. I grab that guitar 4 times a day. I'll grab a pick, which is on here somewhere. Here we go. I'll grab the pick, turn on the amp, which is over there, and I'll just start to play, and I'll start to practice, and I'll take about 5 or 10 minutes. Now, a sales manager might come by and say, is that really the best use of your time right now, Mr. Farquharson? Which is why I work alone.
Yeah.
But in fact, it is. It's a break. And that's the best use of my time right now. So don't think it has to be work, work, work. But still, it's, if these are the things that are on my list to do, and I've got my priorities identified, if I'm set up, like you said, then you should have a clearer path. So you started off by saying that you see a difference in the days that you have a plan going into that day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's, so fix number 1, make sure you have a plan.
Right. Yeah. If I don't have a plan, all bets are off. I'm scrambling all day. So yes.
Okay, and you're taking the time management class right now in the vault. Have you been consistent about setting your alarm to go off at the end of the day?
I have an alarm that goes off at the end of the day. I am not consistent about following it, like sitting down and going right then and there, doing what I need to do. So you're right. That's step 1. But I set an alarm, end of day, take 20 minutes, put together a plan, 15, 20 minutes. It really doesn't take long. But when I do that, I have a much better chance when I get started in the morning of having a very productive day.
The thing about, you also mentioned the word discipline, Bob, and the thing about that is that every day gives you a new opportunity to succeed again. Every day gives you an opportunity to look back and say what worked, what didn't work yesterday. On a weekly basis, that's you've got five work days in there. You can sit back on a Friday and say, okay, if I had the week to do over again, what would I do differently? What was within my control? What was out of my control? And life has wild cards. You know,
Yeah.
Allison's stepfather right now is gone from the home to the hospital to rehab, and you get a phone call and it's react. You know, she goes there, I go grab one of the kids. It's all we're all in a zone defense these days, waiting for the next shoe to drop. That's
Right.
going to happen. But the discipline of getting into that habit that I will plan tomorrow before I leave today makes a huge difference. And if you do nothing else, so the first thing I said to you on that course, if you get nothing else out of that course, hear this. Never leave
Yeah.
today without having tomorrow planned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that'll make a difference. Then the discipline of it is just what's the best use of my time right now and making certain that you are getting the right things, you know, because it's not just time management, it's sales focus.
Yeah.
Put those two things together, and when you really get into that habit, you develop that habit, that's when things take off. If you're doing the right things, you're doing them efficiently.
Some of my time management, I do well with shorter bites. So I'm trying to kind of section off the day, half hour of prospecting, half hour of cold calling, that type of thing. And I'm trying to rotate it on a daily basis. I feel like it's a little too much. But I'm trying to add a little bit more structure, and I wanted to ask you your opinion about that, like that time management for the next day. How structured should it be? Is it dependent on the individual? Yeah.
You said it's a little too much. What does that mean?
So, I'm overly optimistic when I sit down to do it. And I say, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. And I don't leave any wiggle room or leave enough wiggle room for the distraction and, the kind of the squirrel going off. And I sometimes use what's the best use of my time. So I'm looking for a happy medium there. There's a lot of things that I want to get to, but what question should I be asking myself when I'm doing the time management at the end of the day for the following day? Obviously, there's some things that have to be done, but then there's always the prospecting always goes to the bottom of the list. My experience in sales is the prospecting always goes to the bottom of the list as you go through the day, and I'd prefer that not to happen.
So I think let me explain to you how I do it. Okay. I will look at the day ahead. I will physically look at it on the calendar. I had a 9 o'clock coaching call today. It's 9:30 now. You and I are talking. 10:30 I've got a coaching call. It'll take me to 11:15. And then there's a break. And then at 12 o'clock I've got a call to 12:30. And then there's a break. And then there's a 2 o'clock webinar that I'm giving for some PIA affiliate associations. So I've got these holes where you think, what am I going to do? What's the best use of my time before 9 o'clock? This is the thought process that I had yesterday. So, get up early and get into the office. You've got some things that are on your to-do list like this, and I've got Tuesday written down here. So these are the highlights, the priorities of things. Plus I've got some personal things which are mentioned over here. So I will take a look at that list, take a look at my calendar, and try and just kind of piece it together like, I can do that one first thing, that one can wait. And then I've got, this one, boy, it's going to take a lot of focus. So I better wait until that chunk in the middle of the day. I know myself. If I say, well, you're free after 3 o'clock, yeah, you're free, but you will have been on the phone doing stuff since 9, you're going to be tired creatively.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a good idea. So I'm positioning things, Bob. I'm not saying for 30 minutes I will prospect. I'm not doing that. I'm saying this task goes in this slot.
Right.
Right. And I'll do that on a weekly basis as well, because not only do you want to be planning tomorrow, today, you want to be thinking about next week, this week.
Yeah.
So that what else do you have? And then when's the best time to do it? It's all part of a dance. You're going from 10,000 feet looking down in your day and planning to the foxhole. And then you're coming up and looking around to see how everything, you're shape shifting and then going right back in. And then you're back up to 10,000 feet again. So it's a very interesting and ever-changing cycle, dance, swirling activities, personal, private. One of the kids will come downstairs. Hey, can you take me driving so I can practice? They're doing their driving test. The twins are doing their driving test this Saturday. God help us all. But that's how I will do it. Now, So you look at my list again, I get a couple things that are crossed off. Boop, a couple things that are crossed off. I will reassess so that, let's say my next call cancels. I will then look at this and I will prioritize on the fly. What is the thing that I need to get done? And what's the best use of my time? And so it's a master plan that you start with.
Okay.
And then you look at your calendar to see when you will do things. Okay? The engagement, which in that 5-step process that's in that course that you're in, that's the last step, engage. Engagement includes a lot of shuffling around, a lot of rethinking, a lot of what's the best use of my time. And then when somebody blows the whistle at the end of the day, you reorganize and you set everything up for tomorrow for another day of success. Hopefully, that's all part of the dance as well.
Right.
So there's a lot of answers in there. And the thing is that sometimes I will match the activity to the mood. If I get a really good night's sleep last night, I'm strong creatively, I might move something to the top of the list that wasn't there. Because, man, I feel really fired up today. Or vice versa. Like, oh my God, I watched Sunday Night Football. I'm about to die. What is wrong with those Patriots? Why did they wait till the last minute? So there's a lot of answers. That's why I keep saying this is a huge subject.
Yeah. Well, it's helped. Yeah, that all helps. I guess it really comes down to discipline. I have to have some discipline. But asking the right question, what is the best use of my time? That's the single best piece of advice you've given me, and I use it professionally and private in my day-to-day life. So, but it's going back. It's having the discipline to go back to that list, and yeah.
Well, it starts with preparation, time management, an effective day. That's why I say, Bob, look back on a day that went really well and ask yourself, why did it go so well? What did I do right today? We're very quick to say, what do we do wrong? But what did I do right today? And you already know the answer. The day started with a plan. I got distracted, but I got back on track. Why? Ask yourself, what did I do right?
Yeah.
Right? And then try to replicate it again and again and again and get as close as possible. Start with a plan. Plan tomorrow before you leave today. Prioritize. Say to yourself, if there were 3 things that I was going to get done for sure, what would they be? What would those 3 things be? So that if my day goes to hell in a handbasket, I want to make certain that I get those things done first. And Bob, I also look at the week and I'll say, I'm going to front load my week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to get more done so that Thursday, Friday, when things aren't as busy, I'm not, oh gosh, I forgot to do that. I don't have to worry about that. I got that done. I got to that priority. So one of the big tips then, let's see, what did I say? Prepare, make that list. Priorities, get the priorities done so that, and don't put them off. Get the priorities done so that they do get hit every single day. Because here's the thing, when you succeed at that, there's a positive feeling. And that positive feeling helps you in other things. You go back, that was a good day. And you wake up the next day, you've got that same feeling, and forward you go. So a lot on time management.
That's okay. That's where that's where my head is at. That's what I perceive to be my biggest challenge right now. That's what's holding me back is that time management. Yeah. Sure.
Well, I think the thing to do then is to apply what we talked about today, and then let's talk again and write down what worked, what didn't work. Okay. Write down additional questions. I want to have a few of these coaching calls, and I will take notes of these. I ordinarily will be clicking away. I'll have my head down, clicking away, taking notes, but I'll take some notes afterward here, and then we can talk again, and you can tell us what worked, what didn't work, but then also write down some additional sales challenges as they're coming up. Yeah. Put a piece of paper taped to your desk, sales challenges, or talk to Bill about this or something. And then when we start up again, I will ask you what's on your mind, what's working, what did you bring to talk about, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, cool. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate yours. Thanks. All
Cool.
right.
All
We'll
right.
talk soon.
And we'll see you inside the sales vault.
Yes, we will. It's fun. All right. Thanks, Bill.
Cool. All right, I'm back. I hope you found that helpful. That was certainly a lot of fundamentals in there, things that you can use again and again and again, and that's why they are called the fundamentals. So you stick to those, and I'm sure you will find better success. Preparation is the key to time management. See the day ahead. Oh, excuse me. See the day ahead. See the week ahead. See the month ahead. Allergy season. See the month ahead and you will do just fine. I hope you have a great selling week, everyone, and please do join us on the Sales Vault. I'd be happy to join you with this journey of sales success. I will talk to you next week about another Chill with Bill topic, and there'll be a sales tip on Monday, a blog on Tuesday, a new polling question on Tuesday, and then office hours on Wednesday. And we will keep this thing going. And so, anyway, thanks. Have a great weekend.